Hello, denizens. Wow, it seems like only yesterday that I did a video on the end of Adobe Flash. That was when Adobe announced Flash was going to be end of life, December 31st, 2020. And so, the end has arrived. Welcome back. I had prepared a more extensive Flash video, but Computer Clan just released a wonderful Flash retrospective, and rather than repeating what Crazy Ken has done, I will provide a link and you go watch his excellent video. He is much more clever and funnier than me, and I hate him. I have decided to talk about our business experiences with Flash. Now, we were playing with Future Splash, the original Flash, while we were Macromedia Director developers. I loved Director, and we were part of the CD-ROM revolution. Heck, we had a $7,000 Sony CD-ROM burner with single speed. Ouch. Back in the 90s, before the internet, the future of interactivity was all about CD-ROM, interactive kiosks, games, and Director was leading the way. One curious product, which I'm sure most of you have never heard of, was the hybrid music and CD-ROM disc. If you stuck your CD into a regular audio player, you'd get the usual music CD experience. But if you stuck it into your PC or Mac, you'd get some stupid game or interactive experience that followed the theme of the music or included animations of the artist. We did a bunch of these. The record companies were very hot on them because they were good promotional, I guess, but they didn't go anywhere as no one cared about the interactive content, and it would quickly be unplayable with future OS updates. The closest to something that worked in this vein was Peter Gabriel's Explorer 1. There was never any Explorer 2 because it was just too expensive to produce. I was so glad we moved to building websites as they were much easier to manage. A CD-ROM project would take weeks just to map out a FileMaker database with all the bits and pieces that an interactive CD-ROM required, the on and off and neutral states of hundreds of buttons and pictures and clickable pre-rendered 3D objects as we managed the asset file names. File naming was a big thing also. Anyways, I digress. Macromedia had brought out Shockwave as a way to play Director applications on the emerging internet thingy. Director was a pixel-based system that didn't scale. Flash, which Macromedia eventually bought and renamed, was vector-based. It could scale animations and text.
I'm a geek, I'm a freak, I'm on here every week. I'm running up the bill, I stay awake with pills. I don't know what to do, cause I'm in love with you. You're my internet, you're my internet. Oh, I never shave or wash, so I can visit posh at her Spice Girl URL. It's got me in its spell. Phone calls can't get through my one-line serving you. You're my internet. My internet. My internet. As your pages load, I'm dreaming of the quick time you'll be streaming. I've lost my wife and children, my car, my cat, this building. It's either you or heating, you know I won't be eating. You are my internet. My internet. Cause I'm in love with you. You're my internet.
While I loved the look of Flash animations, I hated the interface because it was the complete reverse of Director's and I could never really get the hang of it. Soon, Flash gained many of Director's attributes and it became the darling of high-end graphic design agencies because it did two things they loved. One, the designer was in control of all four corners of the screen experience. Fancy pants designers who knew nothing about web design hated the endless scrolling nature of web pages. They wanted the web to work like the medium they were most familiar with, which was print. Those of us in the web biz use the term print designer disparagingly. Flash let print designers make the internet behave more like print. Stuff happened inside the boundaries, including the much-hated scrolling text boxes, which once again, print designers loved. And the second thing they loved was that you could use the full suite of Adobe typefaces in a website. At the time, your entire library of available web typefaces was restricted to whatever you had installed on your computer. That was what HTML code had available to call on. Of course, Mac users had the core typefaces that came with the laser writers, which included real Helvetica. But WebType soon standardized around the typefaces that were included with the installation of Microsoft's Internet Explorer. Arial, Courier New, Times New Roman, Comic Sans, Impact, Georgia, Trebuchet, Webdings, and Verdana. In truth, except for Comic Sans, they weren't awful. The issue was that when those were the only typefaces HTML websites had to work with, it got boring very quickly. But aha! This was not the case with Flash websites. You could embed real Adobe typefaces in them and they would render out correctly on your screen. And print designers could make the type really tiny, which back then was all the rage. The other thing that attracted design firms to Flash was that they could own the client. While the client's IT department might have had some FTP and HTML editing experience, all changes to Flash had to be done by the agency, which brought in a lot of support money. Flash also allowed for the prevention of copying written content, as well as preventing downloading of images. Companies seemed to love that. Flash became the video standard for YouTube, ESPN, and pretty much any service that showed video online. Microsoft attempted to compete with its, Silver Streak or Spoon or Surfer or something, but that failed. As capabilities were added to Flash, yes, you could do amazing things, and even we created many online games like this one, Carnival.
Come one, come all, welcome to the Carnival Midway. Test your skills. Test that gray lump between your ears.
There were things you could do with Flash that you still can't do now. But Flash was bloated, and on the Mac at least, it would be the source of constant crashes. While we hated Flash, we did dabble with Air, which was a fully programmable version of Flash that showed great promise for back-end interface. But thankfully, Ajax came along, which was a non-proprietary standards-based system. In the end, the problem with Flash and Air was that it was proprietary and managed by one horrible company, Adobe, which, with its increased hostility to Mac users, just did not seem to be a good way to go. Plus, updated HTML standards like HTML5 provided a wealth of creative opportunities without Flash, and the slow death of this buggy mess was inevitable, hastened by the emerging smartphone revolution and Steve Jobs' now famous "fuck Flash" open letter, though he didn't use quite those words. Rest in peace, Flash. We knew you well. So long, Dennis.